Ruben Amorim. Hello, welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack, and this is the latest episode of the United Community Podcast. Welcome along to everybody. And as always, we've got some of the members in with us as well. The usual heads. Chris is there. Desi is there, and Oisín is down there. Welcome, lads. Thanks for joining, as always. And welcome to everybody that's tuning in as well, guys. Please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Seeing some of the members are in there already. Finn is in, Brian is in, Dee is there as well. Good to see you guys. We're going to be talking about Manchester United's likability and how much we can attract players to the club. That's going to be the hot topic tonight. We're going to be delving deep into that. We've also got updates as well, guys, on transfer news. Martinez to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano has been giving us updates on that. That then has a trickle-down effect towards Andrea Onana. We'll be talking about him. And Milinkovic-Savic has been heavily linked with Napoli, so it's heavily goalkeeper linked tonight. We've got updates on Brian Mbuemo as well, and also Hugo Ekitike as well, guys, and a massive transfer fee there, which are absolutely crazy. But Oisín, we'll start with you, because you had the idea of talking about this topic tonight, and from everybody that's watching, you can see it in the title of the video. Can United attract any more? And look, obviously, we finished 15th last season. We've got no European football in the upcoming year, but yet we're getting the likes of Matheus Cunha in quickly. What's your overall thoughts, and maybe lead us into this topic a little bit?
Well, look, the reason I was thinking this, I was doing a really banal job today, recycling the plastic bottles, and I was just, as I was putting them in, I was just thinking, are we a big club anymore? Is it just us that thinks we're a big club and can bring the players with us? What have we done in the last 10 years? What have we won? We've won an FA Cup, a Europa League, couple of what used to be the Worthless Cup, the Carabao Cup. Yeah. We've not done much, yet we still feel that we've the right to attract these players. And I'm just trying to figure out why we think we do. I mean, Desi has said passionately how we've been so badly run for the last 20 years. Why would people want to come to us? We must have one of the worst run clubs. We must have one of the worst, maybe we must have a pretty poor playing staff in the grand scheme of things, considering our size. Considering what we think we are a big club. Are any of our players world-class players? Currently world-class? Would you say any of our starting 11 will be world-class? I'm not even sure we have one. Casemiro was probably world class at one point.
Bruno.
And beyond that, I'm struggling, to be honest with you. Bruno. I mean, but is Bruno world class, or is he just the best of a really bad bunch?
He does pretty well for Portugal.
We have to be honest with ourselves. You know what I mean?
He does pretty well for Portugal. He's world class for them. I mean,
but look who he's playing. I mean, he's playing with a better team, so he's gonna be better. He looks good in a shit United team. But I mean, I'm sure if we played with Ronaldo and Neves and these guys, we'd look fucking class as well. I just wonder, are we aiming too high for where we are as a club? That's what hit me today. What makes us think we're still a big club as United fans?
I mean, Oisín, I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. I mean, there is a lot to unpack there. I mean, I think that the pull for Manchester United is still there, meaning like the exposure. We are considered one of the biggest clubs in the worldwide, so like, that pull is inevitable. I mean, the marketing team, I guess you could say the global pull is there. You go, you hear from everywhere that anywhere you go, you see Manchester United uniforms and everything like that. I mean, we still have that pull. We're still on television a lot compared to other clubs and everything like that.
Because we're good or because we're bad?
Yeah, but see that's marketing, Chris. As a football player, why would you come to United instead of going to City?
Because you get the exposure. You get the exposure.
So you get money.
And you get to play. And I mean, because right now, if you went to Liverpool, I mean, unless you're $150 million Florian Wirtz, I mean, you get some of these other guys. Is Cunha going to play for them?
That's the point. When we were winning leagues, we could pick who we wanted.
Yeah.
Now we've got to pay stupid money to get bad players to our club. And that's not changing. I mean, Ineos are trying to change it, but it's not. To bring in Mbuemo to the club, we've got to pay $250,000 a week. He'll go to Spurs for half that, apparently. I mean, where does it go? According to all reports, he's happy to go to Spurs for $125,000 to work with Frank.
I have not heard that, but I mean, I've heard that. I mean, Spurs are still going to have to. Spurs. The only reason why Spurs were even in it because they said they would match $70 million off the top.
Yeah,
player wise, he said that he wanted to come to United. He's never said that he wanted to go to Spurs.
Well, he's getting twice the money. You know,
okay. I mean,
what can United offer anyone anymore? We've no European football this year, and if we play anywhere near what we played last year, we won't have European football either next year or even the year after that.
But neither will Spurs.
Let's look back then.
Spurs have European football next year. Spurs have Champions League next year.
So he'll get 3 extra games he'll get 3 extra games in UCL because Spurs aren't going through the group.
But because the new format is still there, so it's 8 games he's going to have minimum.
Okay, so he gets 8 more games, and I get it, and I understand it, but I mean I don't think that Mbuemo's cost I don't know what he's on now. I should have looked that up. I apologize. I don't know what his salary is now.
I think it's 45 he's on at the moment with Brentford.
Okay, and he's 24, so he's going to be looking for a pay raise regardless. So I mean, I don't know. I didn't hear we were giving him 200. I thought we were giving him more like 150 from what I read, and I could be wrong on that. I got to look that up, but.
I'm going with euros here because all my reports are being euros. So if it's pounds, it might be 200, but euros, everything is 250.
Okay. Well, I don't. If that's true, then I have a little bit of problem with that. Then I think we should walk away from that deal. If we're gonna give him 250, then I think we should walk away from it because that's ridiculous. To be honest with you, I don't think he's had one good year in the Premier. I mean, one standout year in the Prem, and and I'm not saying he's not a good player. Don't get me wrong. I think he could be a very good player for us, but. The going rate that we're spending on him is, I mean, that's a going rate for what you're looking for. Like if you go across the board, unless you're going to get a learner driver or a young guy that doesn't have the experience, I think that's pretty much the going rate. 55 to 70.
I have a point. Is he what we're looking for? We need an out-and-out number 9. We need a guy who could have put the ball in it. Look, I'm not a big stats guy, right? But doing the research for the podcast, he overachieved his XG by 7.7 last year. He overachieved.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he could crash and burn and not score at all next year. If he comes to United, he's going to have that red shirt on, aiming for the Stretford end. That's a huge weight. Is he going to match those numbers again?
Well, I don't know if he'll match him, but I'll stay on the positive side, and I think he could do something similar because just as much as you say he could crash and burn, you could take the flip side and say he could do very well at the same time. I mean, it's a flip of the coin at that point. I mean, I get it, Oisin. I'm there with you. I understand, but I mean, I also look at it though and say, is that what we need? I agree. We need an out and out number 9. But I've listened to Fabrizio and Ornstein and all these guys talk. Until Arsenal have to sign whoever they want, and then the number 9, the dominoes will start to fall. I mean, I think that's everybody's waiting for that. I mean, it's not. I mean, unless you want to go out and offer.
But you just said a second ago we are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Why are we fucking waiting on Arsenal then? Let's go sign someone.
But the problem is they don't.
First choice. Let's just go and sign someone.
But the problem is that when we want to go sign someone, you think that we can just. He's not a free agent. They're not free agents. We have to go and sit there and we have to discuss with Sporting. Hey, we want to sign Gyökeres. All right. They want, from what I've read, that the gentleman's agreement is no longer there. Yeah. So they want somewhere like 70 to 80 for Gyökeres, which at 27 years old, you're kind of sitting there going, that's a little. That's. I mean, even for me and how good Gyökeres is, that's a little much. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm a big fan of his. And then you look at the number 9s. Osimhen wants the outrageous salary, And then you look at Ekitike. They want $100 million for him. So then, I mean, what's that?
He's 21. That's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid money. But then you're looking at. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think what what Liverpool did with Florian Wirtz is stupid money. 150 million for him, and I think that's stupid money there because he could crash and burn. I mean,
well, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, right? What's the solution then? You know what I mean? And maybe to go forward, we need to look back. And if you look at, say, Ferguson in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, when we were, eventually we went 26 years without winning the league. Is it a case now where we have to do something similar, where we might have to lean on the, on the academy a little bit more? Maybe is a Cunha a marquee signing that you get in? Again, a lot of people, call similar to Cantona. I don't think he will be, but what's the solution then?
But I mean, Fergie didn't lean on the academy in his first 2 years there. He bought German players who he knew, kind of, I won't say mercenaries, but they were people who'd been around the league and knew how to play in the league. Your David Mays, your Steve Bruce's, these kind of players. That's what we might have to do. Build up
but I think that's what we're trying to do. I think we're trying to buy those players that are proven in the league, like an Mbuemo. I mean, I know Mbuemo had one good season, but he's played in the league. We got Cunha that's had good seasons with Wolves. I mean, he actually had a better season the previous season than he did last season. So, and I watched the interview with Cunha. He's always wanted to play for United. So to me, that's a big bonus. I'm loving it at that point.
But so did Robbie Keane. He wanted to play with fucking everyone. Just because they say that in an interview, we can't fucking believe that. You know what I mean?
Robbie Keane didn't want to play for everyone. Robbie Keane did play for everyone.
Okay. But I mean, I just think that you take it Cunha for face value and you go, okay, he wants to be here. I'm happy with that. And Mbuemo initially came out and said he wanted to sign with United because of what he sees as the project that was presented to him through Amarin. So, I mean, I think that's what we have to pull. And I agree that I think and we've all talked about this, we have to pull players that we can get better now. Not, hey, we need to develop that guy like a Garnacho or anything like that, because we saw what happened this season when we had to learn our drivers in there. We're like, hey, we're relying on this kid that, 1 out of 5 he puts on net, and everything like that. So it's like, I agree, but I think the pull is still the crest. I mean, is it waning? I would agree with you, Oshin, that our bright light is waning a little bit, but I think this is an important time where we need to, shine the light a little bit and get some excitement. And I think I don't mind if you get the Mbuemo and the Cunha and then you go for the number 9 after that, because again, nobody's signing a number 9 right now. It's not like we're missing the boat. Like none of them are signed.
Yeah, you just need to wait for that first domino to fall, I think, with the strikers.
And everybody's been saying that, all the pundits have been saying the same thing. It's like everybody's waiting. Like Osman. Sorry to jump in there, and I do think that does lean into Chris's argument, because if United had the pull, we wouldn't need to wait for the first domino to fall with Arsenal before we could go for Gyökeres. Yeah, and I mean, yes. So I mean, I agree with that, but at the same time, I look at it and I go, okay, but that's where we're at. And I mean, Gyökeres wasn't, from what I've read and listened to, he wasn't going to sign anywhere. He's not in a rush to sign right now. He wants to look at all suitors, and that stuff over the weekend where he said no to United, that was all BS from what he came out and said and everything like that. So he wants to look at all suitors at this point. And I'll be honest with you, I think everybody's kind of playing the same game. It's like everybody's, presenting the options, and none of the strikers have signed. Like none of them, like any of the top ones.
Right. Desi, have a go there. You've been sitting there in silence, taking it all in.
Letting lad get through the rounds there. I was waiting for the bell to ring. Ding dong. The thing with Gyökeres there, is the way Chris is saying it about, he's waiting around. I think Ush has a valid point in what he said at the start, that he'd probably be in Old Trafford if it had been years ago by now. And that is the difference. Whether we like it or not, you might have the pull, but it's not as strong or as dominant as it used to be. We can't live in past tense though, Jack. I do believe, and still strongly believe, that we've been run by a bunch of clowns and we're buying tickets to the circus every week. And I don't see real change positively for the whole group until they're removed. But look, I've been saying that for years now, Jack, not just the last few podcasts or that, and even with my close friends and stuff like that.
And Desi, what do you make of the current setup then? Like of Ineos, and maybe like I thought last summer's transfer window was quite positive.
Yeah, I thought this one got off to a good start, but it's gone relatively quiet, Jack. Like, I mean, we've signed Cunha and we've signed Mbuemo. I still said on the last podcast that I thought we needed to sign a good centre back. I don't see anything really coming out. Is there anything out there that we're interested in any real top class centre back? Striker wise, gone quiet again. Like, well, the 9 spot. So I still have me doubts about it, Jack. I really do. And I'm not on here to spread loads of negativity. I think there is positive moves, but in terms of what Oisín's saying, I would be leaning towards him and not just totally disregarding what Chris has to say, because he has got a valid point. We do still have a pull, but we're not as big as we used to be. And we have to settle for that right now. And I think what's more important is that we need players to come in. Because look, Jack, it's being proven. Talent can only get you so far with this club. We've had many good players come in here and they've flopped. So we need players that are going to come in here and wear the shirt and carry it and work hard and get us back to where we need to be. That's the aim. That has to be the aim first of all. We have to have a starting point. We can't get as low as we did last year. We have to try and work our way back up. We need a massive improvement from that position in the league this year. And if it's acting positive towards getting back up to table, and I don't mean like just jumping 2 or 3 places, we'd be looking to jump a good, try and get back
10.
up even into 5th. You know what I mean? And then go from there. But we need to see massive improvement. Yeah, I'm hopeful for this season, Jack. I just think we definitely need to sign a good centre back. That's my main. I just want to see somebody in there because I just don't. I like Maguire, but they're just not. Do you know what I mean? And the thing on Bruno Fernandes, Jack, the boys were going on about Fernandes there. Do you know what I don't want to hear? Let's say, hindsight's a great thing, but let's say we go out this year and it doesn't go all as according to plan, and he has a bad season. I don't want to hear these dickheads coming out of the woodwork saying we should have sold him last year. All the lads, don't sell him, we don't need to sell him. We were getting massive money for him, you know, and that was good for us in terms of spending towards the new team. Yes, he's a great Manchester United player. Yes, he's given us a great turn. But at the end of the day, we need to change. We can't stop resisting change just to suit certain players, I think. That's just my personal view.
Are you leaning towards moving Bruno on then?
Oh, I tell you now, I wouldn't have been. If that money comes in, Jack, does that not put us in a better position to go for?
Yeah.
Right, so would I have been really disappointed knowing that there was a bit of a bank there for us, knowing that he was gone? No, I think it was the correct time to maybe get rid of him in the nicest way possible. He was going to a club where he's getting savage wages. Like, you know, it was win-win for everybody in my eyes. Yeah. Now, if he goes out and has a bad season, then the United fans start coming down hard on him, and then you'll have all the lads who said, keep him. And then, what's the price tag next year?
Yeah.
Then what?
I think he's 30. He'll be 31 this season, I think.
Yeah, 31.
Yeah. But the one thing I would say about Bruno is that I don't think he has had a bad season yet in the United jersey. Now that doesn't mean one isn't coming. You know what I mean? But if he did have a bad season this year and we tried to move him on next year, would he have enough credit in the bank to still garnish maybe a decent transfer? Obviously not as big as what we've been offered supposedly already.
Well, if all goes well, of course the price tag will still be there. Like, I just think that in terms of us trying to transition right now, it would have been the correct time to move him on. That's just my personal view on it.
And what do you do then, Desi? Like, if you do move Bruno on, let's say we got 100 million for him, do you invest that directly into a replacement, or do you go more the collective route and go try and get 2 or 3 players that will maybe make up his numbers?
That's what it opened up to. Look, I'd love to be inside Ruben Amorim's head, or whatever way they're going to plan this, but it gave options, Jack.
Yeah.
Whereas now we don't really have the option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whether it would be one player or, as you said, an instant replacement to him and spend big bucks on this guy, or as you said, 2 or 3 players to help the squad. So
what I would think about it is that, and I'll throw this to the other 2 boys as well, is that I think we probably would have moved Bruno on if we didn't have the likes of Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, Anthony, potentially leaving, because you move the 4 of them on for, say, their max value. You're talking a minimum 150 million that you would get for the 4 of them, and do you really have to replace any of them? Anthony was gone all year. Well, most of the year. Rashford was, Sancho was, and Garnacho was the only one there. So you probably, and again, we're talking about being not in Europe next year. You don't need as big a squad. Does that make sense, Oisín?
Yeah. No, I mean, just touching on that, something that's concerning me a lot is we're hearing nothing about outgoings, nothing at all. And that's what we need to do. We need to get players out the door. There's 5 or 6 that need to go, who will be in the first team squad. You're talking.
But
about,
the thing about that is, though, Oisín, look at it, right? Rashford won't go anywhere other than Barcelona by the looks of it. Real Betis are busking on the street corner to try and raise the funds. Sancho won't lower his wages.
Nope.
And Garnacho wants to stay in the Premier League. So, and United are probably going to hang on until hopefully try and push him abroad.
Well, look, Aston Villa are looking at Garnacho.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of last year, you couldn't call him a direct rival of United, so going to them wouldn't be a huge thing to United, I don't think. Rashford is never going to Barcelona.
No,
never.
It looks like Nico Williams is closing in on that move.
I mean, the way Rashford's played the last couple of years, he'll be looking to go to Billericay United. Never mind Barcelona. Sancho's holding up a Saudi move. 350k a week. That's a Saudi move he's looking for, because nobody else is going to give him that money.
What a waste of talent.
Not a hope. And Anthony,
Anthony is probably the one. Anthony's the one I take back above all of them now, because I just like him more than the rest of them.
You could essentially loan Anthony for another year with an obligation, not an option.
Yeah.
Where you knew he was
Would
gone.
it be right in saying that what would happen if we didn't move any of these on?
Then we're 15, 16 again next year, because we're going to have the same. We can't bring players in with them on the pay. We just can't. Because no one's going to take them on their full paycheck. We're going to have to pay some of it.
Well, is that a possibility, though?
Well, it seems to be at the moment.
Oh, they won't play. We'll be paying them. I think they'll be sitting at Carrington when we're playing.
100%. But we can't bring anybody in else. We can't bring anybody else in then, because they'll be on the books.
They're on the books, but they don't have to be in the first team squad.
Yeah, we're still paying them, though. So can we afford to bring in new players?
But we're still, and I get that, but we're still paying their salary now. Or major portions of it now. So I think the idea that if we end up keeping them, then and we have to pay their salaries, I think that's a little bit overblown to a point. But the selling part is not going to happen at the beginning of the window for us. No. It's just not. The one player
part's not going to happen, because every one of them is delusional.
Well, I don't think Anthony. I think the only person that we could possibly sell right now is Anthony, because there is a demand for him. There is a want for him. And he seems like he would like to go to Betis, or he'd like to go to Spain. So, he's the only one that I think we could really truly move on at this moment, because there's genuine interest in him. But the problem with Rashford and Sancho, I wish I could say we just leave him on the bench or leave him at Carrington, and every time he shows up late, you dock him a game check and just be like, this kid's just, you want to waste away, because you're not going to play, and everything like that. And I think that's what we're heading to. Rashford, I think, will come around to the point where he's going to go somewhere. I mean, he wants to play for England in the World Cup. He's gonna have to. Sancho has no chance to play for a World Cup team. I think Rashford has an outside chance, so he's gonna end up. Right now he's
Wonder
pining
does
for.
Sancho have a grandmother or a grandfather from Ireland by any chance?
I'm sure you could find one, but
Jesus, we'll find one, all right.
But I don't know. I just don't like, and I understand it, but I mean, with the outgoings there, that's going to not happen until the end of towards. I mean, again, the window just opened this past weekend again, so I was listening to Ornstein today or Jacobs today. Like, it's relatively early in the window, and there's not. Besides the teams that made moves for the Club World Cup, nobody's really making huge moves. They're starting to trickle through now. Like, Liverpool's making their moves for Frimpong and Wirtz and everything like that. But other than that, no one else is really making huge moves.
Also, guys, we've signed somebody already. You know what I mean? We have signed somebody, and we're very close. Reading today that within the next week or so, we could see the Mbuemo deal pretty much being done as well. So I don't think it is the end of the world either. And I think, we're probably 2 pieces, 1.5 pieces out of 3 that 2 number 10s and then the number 9 in front of them. Now the number 9 is going to take a lot of work. But anyway, look, I digress. I want to move it on a little bit. Desi's back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Jack got rid of Desi.
I want to go to the other end of the field, and I want to get your opinions on this, because obviously, the last 24 hours or so, we've been heavily linked now again for a second time, because a few weeks ago we were as well, with Emi Martinez, goalkeeper out of Aston Villa, and obviously there's been a lot of talk around Andre Onana the last couple of weeks, and will he stay, will he go, whatever the case may be. Fabrizio Romano has said initial contact has taken place for Emi Martinez. He's ready to say yes to Manchester United. Chris, I'll give you first dibs on this. What's your thoughts around, potentially, is it even an upgrade to move from Onana to Martinez?
Yes, it is an upgrade because he can stop shots. Yes,
right.
I mean, yes, Emi Martinez is a definite upgrade over Onana. Do I love it? I don't know if I love it because of the price tag. They're talking about 30 to 40, and I think we could spend 30 to 40 somewhere else. But
would you offset that then by the sale of Onana?
I think we could, but the problem is, again, trying to find someone that would take him. I mean, like, everybody during, the last couple of weeks, everybody was giving Ten Hag, shit for he signed Flecken when he could have taken Andre Onana from us because that's who we wanted in the beginning. So it's just like, he probably looked at it and went, oh, yeah, I made the mistake, so we were going to just leave him over there. It's like, you guys eat that one. But no, I mean, Emi Martinez he's a top-class goalkeeper. I mean, he's a top-class shot stopper. I mean, and like Oshin pointed out in the group chat, he's going to be missing the first 3 games because of what he did, But, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I think he's still. I mean, he's much better than Onana, and I think he brings that. What you hear a lot of players talk about, the confidence that you have with the guy behind you. I think he brings that confidence to the back, and I think that enhances everybody, enhances your center backs, enhances your defense. Enhances your defensive unit. Because I think Emi Martinez is going to come out and he's going to destroy some people. He's going to make some things happen. Like, he's going to come out and crosses. He's going to, going to block the necessary shots and stuff like that. And he's going to communicate, because I've seen him playing for Villa. I mean, he's vocal, And now is he, as they say, a ball playing goal? No, he's not. But he gets rid of the ball. I listen to this ball playing goalkeeper stuff, and I watch Onana distribute the ball, and it's nowhere close to where it's supposed to go. So I'm like, he's a definite upgrade, but it, like what Oshin was talking about, the number 9, we want the number 9, but all of a sudden now we're going to the other side of the park and we're talking about the goalkeeper. Is it something that we need? Yes, and I can only think of, everything comes in the transfer window, everything comes in waves. So maybe you try to get some business done in some other areas of the pitch where, the number 9s, that's not really moving yet, or anything's really moving, or everybody's on hold. at that point. So it's just, you know, I mean, I'd rather be on the front foot of other places than all of a sudden now at the end of the window, now you're struggling to find what you need to do and everything like that. But I mean, if you're going to spend 30 million to 40 million on Emi Martinez, the kid from Lille, Chevalier, he's 23 years old. You know,
I thought you nearly said Cherokee there for a minute.
No, Chevalier, but I mean, he's a for real goalkeeper. That kid, and he's young, and that, I mean, that's the kid you sign at a lower wage, and you bring him through. And I would rather spend the money there than go to Emi Martinez at that point.
Oisín, I mean, would you pull the trigger on it? Obviously, look, again, there's been a lot of reports. Fabrizio has said as well that, you know, United are not desperate to sell Andre Onana, still see him as part of their project. But in the case of a good proposal for all parties, he's not untouchable.
I mean, look, a manager is going to say every player is important to me. No manager is going to come out and say, with the exception of Garnacho, that I don't want to work with him. You know, they're not going to do that. And I just want to pull Chris up on one thing there. He said we can't have learner drivers on the team. You can't put a learner driver in the sticks. We had it with De Gea a couple of years ago, and look how that went. You know what I mean? So you can't have learner drivers in one of the most important positions on the pitch and not have them anywhere else. We need to go, if we're going to do it properly, build out from the back, an experienced keeper. I think if we are going to go with Martinez, then obviously one of either Onana or Binder goes. I wouldn't be surprised if both went, because Binder didn't fill me with confidence last year.
No.
He played 4 games
already.
He played 5 games, and I mean, the best thing he did was save Havertz's penalty against Arsenal. You know, I mean, I think he left in an average of 3 goals every game he played, besides that Arsenal game. You know, I said it before, that's Taibbi levels of letting goals in, you know?
Yeah.
Do I think Martinez, I mean, he would be an improvement. Chris is bang on. I was saying it the last couple of years, watching Onana, he doesn't talk to anyone. He just comes, doesn't call anything. We saw it against Lyon with Dorgu. There was no communication. I think it was Chris's best friend was behind Dorgu coming through and knew nothing about it, you know? But yeah, I think Martinez would be a good buy, but if he's suspended for the first 3 games of next season because of what he did at Old Trafford in the last game, do we keep Onana till September and then try and move him on?
Well, let me throw this one at you then.
Tom Heaton.
Well, you take fucking Tom Heaton should be the number 1 goalkeeper. I keep fucking saying it, lads. You know what I mean? And he's getting a 1-year extension as well. So, but you could offset the 3 games. Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying this right. So, if Martinez comes in, he misses 3 games. But if Onana is the goalkeeper, he goes to the AFCON.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had that 2 years ago.
Where we had if he goes all the way, he misses 5 games, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go all the way, though, going by recent performances. I don't think he's going to get his country to the AFCON final. But look, I mean, that would be the payoff we have to do. Is who played? Do we keep Onana until September, get the first 3 games out of the way, and then get shot of him? Or do we get Martinez, a cheaper keeper, a Scott Carson, Tom Heaton-esque type person, to play the first 3 games and then bring Martinez in? But I am not adverse.
What do you reckon?
I like Martinez, yeah. I'd like to see him come in. Would it be disappointed to see Onana stay? I don't know, Jack.
It's priorities, really. Yeah. There's higher priorities within the squad, I think, to improve.
Yeah, just would it be disappointed to see him stay and Martinez not come in? Probably not. You know, strengthen the outfield before we go there. I don't look. Onana has been very disappointing. Do I think that he could turn it around, or is there a possibility? Probably a slim one. If he works on his overall game, Jack, surely there's somebody in there, you know, going through the mistakes with him. He's made some mistakes over and over again. You have to scratch your head and go, like, you're doing the same thing all the time. But you know, I think Ush has a valid point. The goalkeeper has to be vocal, Jack. He really does. That that stability behind you when the team's coming at you, or giving you direction, or letting other players know, even from corners, being strong, being determined. And I think that's what Martinez has. And that's the difference between Onana and Martinez. Plus, he is a very good shot stopper, Martinez. He can pull off some wonderful saves.
And you know what, as well, Desi, and as he's got the set of shoulders on him to carry the weight of being United's number one.
He looks like he would just come in there and it'd be nearly second nature to him.
Yeah.
He embraces the challenge. He shows up for big games. He's a World Cup winner, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Golden Glove. He was probably the reason why they won the World Cup, to be honest.
Yeah, but look, there you go. So, he's had pressure. He knows how to deal with it. He won't. I think the thing with Onana was maybe he's got the mentality where he makes a couple of mistakes and then it comes in on it. Whereas Martinez can just get on to the next game and, prove himself again.
Talking about
mistakes. So
I think Martinez is the big reason why Villa even got it in the Champions League last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about stature and being able to deal with pressure, whether it be in your head or physically. Well, this fucker is a big boy. Chris, I give you the lead on this one. You've spoken about this guy quite a bit on the channel.
He's a monster.
Monster. Was he? Is he 7 plus? 6'9"?
Yeah.
Napoli are in negotiations with Milinkovic-Savic for an €18 million transfer fee. Talks took place today as Napoli want to anticipate Man United and more clubs keen. Is this a guy that you would be going for? Do you know enough about him maybe to give a call on it? What do you think?
I've watched some videos on him and everything like that, and some positive videos, some negative video, negative, like some of the blunders that he's had, and you watch some of the shorts and stuff like that. But for as big as he is, he moves well. Like he's not, like I think he's fast. Like he's bigger than Donnarumma, and I think he gets down faster. And he's very
for a big man.
Yeah, he is very. I think he's very Emi Martinez-esque. He doesn't have the stature Emi Martinez because he's not World Cup winner and everything like that. But I think he could do it. Now like everybody we always talk about when you're coming from another league, and I think he's 29. I think Milinkovic-Savic is 29.
Yeah,
you're bringing him from another league. You run the risk of can he handle the Prem, where Martinez can handle the Prem, but I like him. I think he could be a class goalkeeper. Because
for €18 million, you've got to be looking at someone like him.
I watched some of the reels of him, and he's a big, imposing. Chris is correct in saying he can get down quick and all. He really is sharp for a big man.
And he doesn't.
I tell you something. I wouldn't like to be running through on goal 1-on-1 against him.
I was just going to say, if we're playing Arsenal the first game of the season, they won't be trying any of them fucking bullshit set plays from corners. He'll just come out like a big bowling ball and clear house.
Well, I think between him or Emi Martinez, we won't have him for that Arsenal game, unfortunately. But yeah, Milinkovic-Savic, I don't know if you guys remember, United's always tied to a Milinkovic-Savic. We wanted the midfielder from way back when. So
we wanted him since 97.
So now I think we get his cousin. Maybe I don't know if they're related or not. There can't be that many of them. But he's a monster. I think, and I've watched I've watched the reels. Like Desi said, he's not afraid to come out and come get the ball. Because he didn't even have to jump. He's taller than anybody that can jump. What
was striking though, Chris, was that when someone got in close to him, because he's so big, you would think it'd be nearly easier for the player striking the ball to beat him. But he gets down so fast. It's incredible how he does it for a big man.
He does. Really, and when you're coming in from an angle, even if his angles are off and positioning's off, he's so big.
He's a big unit.
Yeah, he could be 3 yards off of the near post coming in down the right side or something, and he may be off a little bit, but when he puts his arm out, his hands past the post.
The corner
flag. He's imposing, and for $18 million, it's why would you not why would you not at that point?
Yeah.
Why would you
absolutely.
not? I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, the only difference is unless they want 18 million up front, and unless we always talk about, Villa will take, if they're going to take, let's just say they take 30 for Emmy, and it's going to be 7 and or 12, 10, 10 and 10 or something like that. I mean, I don't know the workings.
I mean,
of that.
18 million euro. I mean, we would sell Malacia for that money.
We would.
I forgot he was a United player.
Yeah, well, I think we bought him. I think we bought him for 15 million, didn't we?
So we're going to sell him for 9.
He's just won a league, Chris.
He has just won a league. And and I'm going to say one thing about Malacia. He didn't do an awful lot wrong at United. He was obviously injured.
He didn't do an awful lot at United. We'll shorten that sentence. He didn't do an awful lot at United.
Yes, because he was injured for so long. But in his short cameo career at Manchester United, I don't think he'd done a lot. Well, look, I mean, if we sold him for £9 million and £9 million and got 12 million euros, I mean, throw €6 million on top of it. It's pennies for United to go out and get Milinkovic-Savic.
But we're pinching pennies. We got tomato soup, and ham turkey sandwiches right now. So it's like
spice boxes. Anyway,
that spice box was shit, by the way, yesterday.
I know. Yeah, the chips just didn't look right, man. They just didn't.
No, they weren't the bigger chips. The last time I went in that restaurant, they had bigger chips.
Sorry.
But they too much chili oil. Like that stuff was
no, there's no. You don't need oil. You don't need oil on a spice. You just cook the chips in oil, and then whatever's left on them, then you throw the spices in on top.
Come on over, and you can talk to the guy that runs the place. I mean, this.
Here's one, Jack. Do you get spice bags here, Jack?
What?
Do you know what one of the ingredients in the spice bag in Ireland is? Sugar.
Heroin.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah, sugar.
But they have all that MSG, isn't it? Like the MSG, that's addictive. You know what I mean? But you're only allowed to use a certain amount of it. Yeah. I love Chinese.
So let me bring one up, Jack. Did you read about the possible loan move, and how would you feel for João Palhinha from Bayern?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I just saw it today. Because Bayern's looking to possibly sell him or just loan him out, and that Amram has
what position did he play again?
Center mid,
CDM.
Oh, lovely.
He played for Fulham. I mean,
he only moved last year, though.
He just moved last year, but he's not in favor, and they're talking about loaning him out. And Amram's a big fan of him because I guess they may have played together. They're he's Portuguese and everything like that. So I was reading about that Bayern is looking to loan him out in Premier League proven. And if you get him on a
loan moves, I'm not against loan moves at all. You know what I mean? Depending on how they're structured, obviously for us, you don't want to be committing to, loans with obligations and all. But I mean, in a rebuild that we're in, I wouldn't be against going out and getting a couple of players on loan. Really wouldn't.
Because that
though, is he not too similar to Ugarte? I mean, we just said we don't have any European football this year. So, I mean, will we be able to keep players happy with their game time, which is going to be a big thing Amman's going to have to do this year?
Well, speaking of... Sorry, go on.
But it gives us options, though. I think you're going to have options. I mean, even with less games and everything like that, I think you have to have options at that point. And then, because you can't... because what if let's knock on wood and talk about, we're not exactly injury free every year. So
as all teams are.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I was reading it and I'm going, well, I was kind of on the fence about it because I was also reading that, United are starting their research again on that Richard Rios kid from South America again.
Yeah.
But they're asking for big money.
I've got a good feeling about this lad, to be honest with you. Look, it was a kind of an up and down first season for me. I had some really good games, and then he had a couple of really poor games. I think he's going to settle in there. You know what I mean? For a first season under the lights at Old Trafford, when it's massive turmoil. I thought he was one of a few players that for large parts of the season could hold his head up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
in fairness, I think when he did go through bad spells, I thought Amram just took him out of the team. Like, he didn't play in the Europa League final. which I was kind of a little bit disappointed with at the end, you know. I do think that number 6 role needs to be maybe improved on. But before we finish, guys, I want to talk about Mbuemo. Oisín, I'll go to you on this one. And Graham Bailey has had an update on him in the last, how long ago was that? 2 hours ago. He said that United and Brentford are close to agreeing a fee for Mbuemo, 60 million, with a fee around this level always assumed. What do you make of it? What do you make of the fee? Again, look, you mentioned, you know, how attractive are United, and you know, we've kind of all come to the agreement, really, have we, that it's probably more the collective than an outright major signing we need. Now, obviously, we need a striker, but we need number 10s to score goals. We probably need Bruno to score more. Ahmad, if he's going to be playing wing back, needs to score more, so on and so forth. What do you make of Mbuemo for 60 million?
I think it's about 5 mil too much. I think he's a 55 mil player. I don't know. I'm just thinking back to at the start of the transfer window, we had 100 million to spend, and that was it. We had 40 for the lap and 60 for Cunha. Now we're after smashing through that, unless it's again in installments or whatever else, and 60 is the final figure. Yeah. I mean, again, when I knew we were going to talking about Mbuemo, I did some research and some pros and cons, right? So he's Premier League proven, right? He had 28 goal involvements last year. Okay. He can play across the front three. I don't think he's as good with his back to goal as what he is facing goal. I don't think he's a strong number 9. But he's got his stamina and his power and his pace would fit into Amarim's style. So he'd fit right in there. There'd be no problem there. The cons were last year, as I said earlier, he overachieved on his expected, his XGs by plus 7.7. I mean, that's an astronomical number to over exceed by, you know.
Oh, see, is that down? Sorry, no, because I'm not 100% sure on that kind of stuff. Is that down to him being in a team maybe that doesn't create as much as they should?
Look, I'm not a stats guy. It just looks impressive, so I'm going to say it.
Right, okay. Sorry, she was reading out that going, don't ask anymore. And
the biggest one for me is the impact it's going to have on the likes of Diallo, who was one of the bright sparks last year. Does this mean Diallo's going to get less ball, or is he going to be playing further back as a right wing back? Which I think is his best position. Yeah. I think it's his best position, but it is going to have that impact. I mean, and then if we can't get rid of Anthony or Garnacho, it's just another number 10. You know,
the one thing I would say, Oisín, I think I mentioned it the other night on one of the lives, is if we go out and get Mbuemo now, and you have Cunha and Mbuemo, and let's say a new striker, let's say, for example, is Xhaka is Mbuemo, Cunha, then that means that Bruno pushes back to the 6 and Ahmad pushes back to the wing back role. That's a very, very, very attacking team.
Mm-hmm. It is.
You know what I mean?
Which is going to put a lot more onus on.
Not only are we signing new number 10s, we're also freeing up the current number 10s to stay in the team, but in a different role.
Well, I think,
okay, that's Amarim's style.
Yeah,
but that's going to put a lot of pressure on De Ligt and Maguire, who are not the most mobile centre backs.
Yes.
Ugarte is not the most mobile. Casemiro, if he's in and out. We don't have a left wing back nailed down yet. I'm not sure Dorgu's quite there yet. Does that mean Shaw's going to play there? Okay, he's more mobile, but he's a lot more injury prone, as we all know. Mazraoui, it just makes our back three. We're going to have to put, as Desi was saying, we're going to have to sign. Okay, we've got Yoro. He's a Rolls Royce. He's going to be a defender for classic generations. But we're going to need someone beside him with pace. So, I mean, like Desi says, does that push the CB up to a higher level of priority now once we sign the attacking side?
Yeah, I think maybe the reason why Amarim likes to play a 3 at the back, I don't think the centre back needs to have an awful lot of pace when he's got 2 players beside him. You know what I mean? I think normally, and
it might just have been last year, but none of the players beside our centre back had pace towards the end of the year because he was.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. But the one argument, or the one maybe positive that I would say about the 3 is when Maguire played in the centre of the back 3 last year. What did we hate seeing before Amarim came in? with Maguire was that ball in over his head and he's caught turning with no pace. We didn't see that an awful lot when he was in the back three because he had protection.
No. Yeah, protection. And I think you guys are missing out that, I mean, Mbuemo's not exactly penciled in at the number 10. He can play the wing back because Amarin likes to play with, and Amarin's even come out and said he doesn't necessarily need wing backs. He wants wingers out wide. So I think if you have Mbuemo or Ahmad at the winger on the right side, then I think you may find that maybe the left wing back, maybe a Dorgu or a Mazraoui, because then it can slide and it's going to give you a little bit more balance because not everybody's going to go forward at one time. If we do that, then we're in trouble. I'll put my hands up and be like, we're in some shit right now. But I mean, I think you got to find the balance in how everything's going to move from side to side. And I think that, I mean, when you have the likes of Mazraoui and Euro has enough pace. I think that, when the Butcher comes back, he has enough pace. The Lick, surprisingly, is faster than a lot of people give him credit for because he did get back on some plays, tracking back and everything like that. So, I mean, I don't think that's a big – I agree with Desi. Do we need to sign another center back? Yes, I think we do. Because I think we need to find something there. But I think that, the one thing I will say is that if with Mbuemo, and like Oshin pointed out, well, does that push Ahmad back to right wing back, and then he gets less of the ball? But I think if you look at it in Mbuemo and Ahmad on that side can be very interchangeable. You're going to see a lot of overlapping and movement on that side that's going to cause a lot of teams a lot of problems. And I want to try to be on the front foot and say we're going to give teams a lot more problems than they're going to give us problems.
What you said, we're going to win the league? Is that what you said?
But I mean, I just think, but let's look at it in a vacuum. We have less games. We'll be on the training pitch more. We'll be more rested. Amarin has the chance to be able to set the team up for games better because you don't have to have so much rotation at that point. Because when we looked at it last year, it's like we have game in, game every 3 days, every couple of days, and everything like that. And why are we playing him? Well, because he played the last 2 games. We got to play this guy, and then we got to play that guy. Where now you're starting to, you can sit there and say these guys are going to get their rest. And honestly, and I guess the bad part of that would be there's no excuses now. There's no, hey, we didn't have it. It's because I played 2 games in a row and then I had a bad game or anything. Now you have the rest. So it's going to be on the guys. And I think, honestly, if like Jack, you said, if we had Cunha, Mbuemo, Ahmad, and then you put Yorkeres up there or any strike, a solid number 9. I don't care.
Anyone that can score.
Any 15-goal number 9, a number 9 can score legitimate 15 goals a season. We'll finally have a plus number in the goals against call.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Desi, I'll give you the final word on it there. What do you write in the Mbuemo, the number 10?
Yeah, I like him. Just to touch on Chris there, I think we will be better this year, Jack, but he's just putting his puzzle together for there, and it's going to take time. And I don't think we're going to blow teams away either. But we'd be a lot more solid all around. It'll look more structured, and then we get to see his idea even clearer, maybe with these new fresh faces in that can do the job for him. But it's going to take time, and we're going to still have to be patient. He did say on the last day, the good days are coming, but he never said it's at the start of this season, one thing we didn't speak on.
They're only 15 years away.
No, it wouldn't. But the other thing we didn't touch on was the first 5 games just before we go.
Yeah. What do you make of them, Desi?
Well, I had a look over them, and well, do you know what? Because I have to be fucking hopeful, I don't give a fuck.
Lad. What, 15 points out of the first 5 games? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was thinking more realistically around if we could get 11, it would be a really good start. And that's a big number in terms of the squad.
Say that. Sorry, you skipped out on me there. Sorry, I buzzed out. What did you say? How many?
11 points
out of 15. Yeah, that's not bad. I'd take that. So we're talking Arsenal I think we'll beat Arsenal. I've just got a feeling. First game of the season.
I think
we'll beat them. I think we'll draw with Fulham. Away to Fulham. Ugh.
That's all I had.
Yeah, I think we'll
You know what, Jack? You know what? I looked at these games and I went, fuck Fulham. Nah, Arsenal's all right. Chelsea's all right.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
I think we'll beat Arsenal. I think did I say draw with Fulham? I think draw with Fulham.
We'll beat Burnley.
We'll beat Burnley. I think we'll lose to City, and I think we'll beat Chelsea.
No, we'll draw against City. We'll beat Chelsea.
All right, brilliant. I'll take it. Look at that. Look at that sexy man behind that fixture list there as well, going to score a bucket load of goals.
But here, one last point though, Jack. Like, if you have Mbuemo and Cunha, the one thing the positive I was having a discussion with my friends is that now you legitimately have two guys that can beat a low block because of the way that they play. Now you finally have two guys that you can sit up there and go, they have the power and the ability to dribble and create and beat a low block team, which we haven't had in a while.
Yes.
And that's why I'm a little bit more optimistic. So when you play against some of the lesser low block squads and everything like that, that we're going to cause people problems now. And that's before we weren't causing problems. Now I think that's my positive take, is that we're going to cause some of those teams problems where you can't just sit and counter against us because we're going to break you down, I think. And I think that's what Amarin's puzzle is he's putting that together and everything like that. So that I think that's where, I mean, I like what Desi said. I was thinking more, I was at 9 points, but I can be persuaded to go to 11 points.
Yeah, I'm telling you now, we're gonna beat City. We beat City away last year. We're gonna beat them this year, no problem.
Fucking come on. And look, let's show the display names there. Mr. Optimism there. What? 15 out of 15, is it?
I had beat Arsenal, draw to Fulham, beat Burnley, draw to City, beat Chelsea. I had 11 points.
11. All right, yeah. Happy days. We're going to win the league. We're going to win the league.
Put that up, Oshie. We didn't say that. He said that.
Next year,
that guy said it over there.
Yeah, see, I'm not the only one who's going the wrong direction.
I'm just going to say, we do the podcast next year and we've got 0 points after 5 games. I just want no one to clip this and come back to us and say it.
So if anyone is watching, clip it up now and send it to me just so I'll have it. You know what I mean? Okay, Desi.
Yeah, you know what, Jack? I don't know who's more delusional. Rashford thinking he can go to Barcelona, or us thinking we can get 11 points out of the 5 games.
Unbelievable, that guy.
Yeah. Anyway, look, we'll leave it there, lads. I appreciate you coming on as always. And look, we won't be live tomorrow because I've got a stag to go on tomorrow. So, and it's supposed to be 26 degrees tomorrow.
Wow.
So, come on, happy days.
There's some good videos tomorrow night then.
I might leave my phone at home, maybe. Yeah. Well, lads, as always, I appreciate you.
Jack, if you leave your phone at home, you may end up like Desi in Paris. You wake up in Paris somewhere.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't mind me that, Chris.
Happy days. Lads, thanks for coming on as always. And I'll chat to you next week for the pod. All right. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Thanks, everybody, for watching as well, guys. Please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. On the road to 15,000 subscribers. So do help us out if you can. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as well if you haven't done so already. I want to know what you guys think as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll be back on Monday with another show. I'll talk to you then. Take it easy.